Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Do Life Big. Today, I am really excited for this episode because this episode, as we close out 2024, is going to be all about the secret to you making 2025 the most epic freaking year of your life. And it all is going to come down to your ability to make these small shifts in the way that you're thinking. And I'm going to share how you can start to reprogram your mind for more success and more happiness come 2025. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I am just coming off of the best 3-day business live event that I've ever been to. I went last year as well. My business mentor hosts them only once a year. And every year, for some reason, they just keep getting better and better. They are that good. So I have the energy from that as I close out 2024. Little side note, so important if you're an entrepreneur that you get yourself in the rooms with these people. You've got to get yourself in the rooms with other people who are doing big things and who have big, crazy dreams just like yourself. At least quarterly, I recommend. I mean, it makes such a difference. So here we are. We're about ready to close out 2024. We're going to be going into a whole new year. And as we close out this year, I just want to give you the permission and the grace to just let this season be a time that you can truly enjoy and be present for. I know as you start to come to the end of the year, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're super goal driven, you're an overachiever, and you want to end the year strong. And I'm not saying that you can't, but don't do it at the expense of missing out on the things that really matter most to you, which is being present with your family, your friends, and just making really good memories and soaking it all up, because you have the whole entire rest of next year and the rest of your whole life, for that matter, to work toward whatever goals that you want to work toward. But this season right now, where especially if you have little kids like I do, it goes by in the blink of an eye, and it's such a special time of year. So as we go into 2025, I'm thinking back to the students who I help throughout the year, and I help them reprogram their mind for more success and more happiness in their lives. And what I see most people doing wrong is that people have it backwards. They never really get to actually attract what they actually want to happen in their business, in their life, because they have this perception that if they just work longer, work harder, make more sacrifices, they do more personal development, they do more of the things, that they will eventually get the results that they're seeking in their life. But what ends up happening is that doesn't end up happening. And then they're left feeling completely burnt out, totally defeated, and just being consumed with this thought of, it doesn't matter how hard I work or how hard I try, nothing happens, it doesn't matter, so why even bother? And then they give up on their dreams and their goals. And that sucks, right? So we don't want this to happen again in 2025. So the number one tip that I want to give you to start is I want you to, as we close out this year and as we go into a new year, I want you to ask yourself, who am I living for? Now really write that down and let it sink in and think about it. Who are you living for? Why are you doing what you're doing? Who are you really doing it for? What do you actually want? Are you on a path right now that you're following because someone told you that's what you should do? Or because it looks good to tell somebody else that that's what you do? Or are you on the path that truly fulfills you. Because a lot of times, from a very young age, we can be told or taught certain things. And then we take those beliefs and we take those ideas on as our own, and we never actually stop and sit back for a second and say, well, who the hell am I? And what the hell do I even want? So that's the first thing I want you to get clear on. And then ask yourself, why is what I'm doing important? It's not for the money. It's not just so you can fit back into those pair of jeans that you couldn't fit into after having 3 kids and a C-section. There's a deeper meaning for why you're doing what you're doing and why it's important to you. And so get really clear on that first, because everything that you are going to be doing going forward from that point on is going to stem from this clarity that you have on who you're living for and why you're doing what you're doing and why it's so important to you. Why does it matter? And then once you figure that out, I want you to make a promise to yourself, okay, that you will show up every single day for the next 365 days fighting for that thing that you say matters most to you. Can you do that? I know that you can do this. All right, we're doing it. The second tip is our ability, or your ability, to be able to really get detached from any outcome. So I'm not just talking about the good outcomes of the things that you want to happen, but I'm specifically now going to talk about when things don't go as planned, because we all know they never do. Nothing ever goes as you plan it to go. There's always bumps in the roads. Things take longer than you thought they would. Things are going to happen. And the more that you are able to detach yourself to an outcome, the faster you're going to be able to get to where you want to go. Because what happens is, if you are really attached to this thing that you want to happen, this amount of money that you want to make, or the amount of clients that you want to be able to help, or this number on the scale, or whatever it is for you, the more you block that flow of energy, that's actually going to allow you to become a magnet to what you want. And I made that mistake by being too attached to things plenty of times in my business, and it came back and shot me in my foot. And it's a mistake I see most of my students make. And I was just at this 3-day business event, and I had also attended it the year prior. And I'm going to share with you this little story about how cool this is, about what you're actually capable of doing when you truly allow yourself to detach from an outcome or to detach from something. So I went to this same event, Business by Design, last year. My business mentor hosts it, James Wedmore. It's phenomenal. And we were led through this 30-minute guided meditation. And I don't really meditate often. I don't know how the hell to do it, but I've learned to really love when other people put me through a guided meditation, because that's where I've been able to unblock some of the shit that's been holding me up in my life. And now I realize how important this is, to look within. And last year, they led us through a 30-minute guided meditation. You close your eyes. They gave everybody this metal spoon. And the goal was to go through this guided meditation and try to focus and channel your energy into the space between the spoon and actually bend the spoon with your mind. Now, I know this sounds crazy, and some of you are probably listening thinking, okay, Kathy, like, what the hell cloud are you on right now? Of course you can bend the spoon. You just take it with your hands and you just bend it in half. I mean, I've seen you lifting weights. I know you're strong. Just bend the spoon. But you're not allowed to use any physical force at all. And so you're very gently holding on to each end of the spoon with your hands, with your eyes closed, going to this meditation for 30 minutes. And it's amazing. Even if you don't bend the spoon, it is such a powerful experience. But I remember when they first got up on stage and they were telling me about how we were going to do this. And in my mind, and where I went wrong was, the goal is to bend the spoon, right? I have the spoon. Every single person at this event, all 1,000 of us, has a spoon, and the goal is to bend the spoon. And if I don't bend the spoon, then I didn't hit the goal, and that just sucks. So bend the damn spoon. So I go through the guided meditation, go through the whole thing. I open my eyes, and guess what? Do you think my spoon bent? No, it didn't bend. Why didn't it bend? It didn't bend because I was so goddamn attached to the outcome of the spoon bending, that was all that I could see. That was all that I could focus on was bend the spoon, bend the spoon. You must bend the spoon. And I looked around me, and not everybody did bend the spoon, but the people who did, when they were able to focus their energy and channel it into that space between the spoon and get really detached from the outcome and have so much focus on it, were able to, I mean, their spoons twisted like in all these crazy different positions, like flipped, like bent 3 times into, it looked like a Z. It was incredible. This is how powerful your mind is. So that this whole last year, I realized that was one of the things that was really holding me back, was this attachment that I had to the outcomes of things. And I have been working so hard on resolving that this year. This year, I go to the Business by Design event. And lo and behold, they're going to do the spoon bending exercise again. Everybody has a spoon. We go through the guided meditation, and it was absolutely crazy. All of a sudden, I could feel the spoon bend in half so easily, as if I was holding just like a rubber band or like a little string in my hand. It was just like whoop. And then what happened is I got so excited that I could tell that I was bending the spoon, that it was happening, that I kind of came to a little bit, and then it stopped bending. But my point is that because I was able to detach myself from that outcome, and because I was able to focus my energy into that space between the spoon, not only did I bend the spoon, but I was able to like bend reality and bend myself, really is what's happening. And so that's how powerful it is when you learn how to start to detach from the outcomes. How many times have we done this, right? Where we're so attached to what we want to happen. Practice on that detachment, and then it opens up the floodgates and incredible things start to happen in your life for you. So what happens is, as you're going through life and these negative things happen to you in your business or any area really, the mistake that most people make is that anytime something negative goes wrong, they make it mean something negative about themselves. They make it mean something negative. It doesn't work out. And then they start to think things like, oh God, I'm just not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm never going to be able to get there. Why is this taking me so long? I should have been so much further along than I am by now. Why does it look so easy for that person? Why is it always a struggle for me? I am so stuck. I obviously am not meant to do this. Maybe I should just do something different. And then all these negative thought patterns go into our mind. And once you do that, the second that you start that negative spiral thought process, that's the second that you start to lose belief in yourself. And once you start to lose belief, you're never able to show up and take the inspired action that's required for you to get to that next level. See, anybody can show up and take action. I showed up and took action for 2+ years when I was a multi-6-figure plateau. But guess what? Nothing was changing in my business for me because my thoughts weren't wired for success in that moment. And I wasn't showing up taking inspired action. When you learn to keep the things that happen in your business as neutral, they are what they are, and strictly look at it as data, and always just ask yourself, hey, what can I learn from this? And not attach it to yourself and not make it mean anything about you, is the second that you're going to start to move a hell of a lot faster in your business. That's how it happens. Right? So anytime something doesn't work out, just look at it as data. This is what happened. This was the result. Let's go back and look at it. Let's make some tweaks. Let's make some changes, and let's grow from there. And then this continues forever. This never ends. And that's okay. But the only difference between where you are right now and where you want to go and all these other high achieving entrepreneurs is that they never make it mean anything negative about themselves. Everything is data. Everything is kept neutral. Everything is, what can I learn from this so I can continue to grow? And that's it. And this is how you start to really reprogram your mind to have the success that you want in your life. The third tip that I want to give you, as you're going into the new year and as you're getting ready for the year to come, you're obviously going to set some goals, right? But I want you to do things a little bit differently. Instead of putting down These goals that maybe look good on paper, or maybe you think might be cool to tell people you achieved, but just because they look cool that you achieve them. As you're making your goals, I really want you to think and ask yourself, what are the goals that I want to achieve that really matter to me? What matters to me? And then go from there. And as you make this commitment to show up for 365 days of the year, fighting for that thing that you want that matters most to you, before you go to bed at night, every night, because this is the most important time to really visualize and think about what you want, is that moment that you're about to fall asleep. What are you thinking about? And I want you to focus on remembering and thinking about that one small win from that day. Even if the whole day went to hell in a whole friggin' handbasket, what was that one small win? What was that one thing that went well? What was that one thing that worked out? Or what was that one thing that you can be grateful for that happened during that day? That's the most powerful moment of the day, is the moment when you are about to drift off to sleep, and then first thing in the morning, as you're just starting to wake up. And you're going to do the same thing in the morning. When you start to wake up, what's the first thing you do? You're not going to reach for your phone and let everybody else's beliefs and opinions and bullcrap from their day take power and control over you. You're not going to go dive into your email on your phone. You're not going to go anywhere else but within and really think about, all right, what's that one small win that I want to accomplish today? What's that one thing that I'm grateful for right now in this moment? And it will set the tone for the entire rest of the day if you can do that. Now, all of this that I just shared with you is going to help you approach life like your success is already inevitable. When you start to reprogram your mind for success and happiness like this, when you start to detach from the outcomes of what does and doesn't happen truly, it's already done. It's already yours. Your success in that area is inevitable. And you'll start to reprogram your mind. And because of that, you're going to become more of a magnet to what you actually want in life. You're going to notice that things are going to start happening a hell of a lot faster. They're going to seem a hell of a lot easier. You're going to feel light. You're going to feel like this is more fun. You're going to feel more alignment. You're going to feel more joy. You're going to feel more purpose, more excitement. All of that will be present. Because once you change your thoughts, your life will change. And that's a fact. Change your thoughts, change your life. It's how it works. It's your thoughts behind the action that create your results that you want. And I want to just leave you today with this quote that I love by Tony Robbins. I've had this one for years. You can write it down. Begin to live as if your prayers have already been answered. Imagine what can happen if you could show up every single day for that thing that really means the most to you. And you really know why you're doing what you're doing. You know why it's important to you. You're learning to reprogram your thoughts to have more positive thinking. You're learning how to detach from the outcomes of things so that they don't have that power and control over you, so you don't block the energy that's supposed to flow to you and through you so you can get what you want. Can you imagine how that would feel every single day? It would feel absolutely incredible. And one thing that can help you if you don't have it yet already, I have a completely free PDF workbook that's called Think This, Not That. It's 19 of the most common limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns or negative thoughts that people think and what you can start to replace it with instead. And why this is important is because the thoughts that you have in your mind right now have been there for probably your whole life, but they're there because of repetition. They're there because of a habit that you have. The habit that you have of thinking and rethinking that same negative thought on repeat in your subconscious that you're not even aware of half the time. But if you can become more conscious to that and catch yourself in the moment, then you can start to break that cycle. And when you can start to break that cycle and you can learn how to replace that negative thought with a more empowering, positive thought, then you're going to establish new habits and a new habit for thinking a new way, a new, more empowering, powerful, positive way. And that's how you do it, because it's your thoughts that create your reality. And so if we're not happy with an area of our life right now, It's okay. We just have to start thinking better thoughts so that we can get the results that we want in the future. So you can go to kathyreuter.com/think this, not that, and you can grab that. It'll be in the show notes, and I know it's going to help you. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to share this on your Instagram and tag me at Catherine Reuter if you loved it. And if you think it will help somebody, that's how we spread the word. Guys, there are no paid ads on my podcast. Everything I do here is to try to help you. It's totally free. It's just my time and trying to add value to your life and try to help you in any way that I can. So I appreciate all the support along the way. And thanks for listening today. You know I think you're awesome, and I love you, and I will see you the next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Like, do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.